Hello, everybody. Carlton Pearson. Welcome to Come Monday. About 6 minutes late. We had a little bit of a technical glitch. They happen in, especially live television, live internet and stuff. But it's always a joy to be here. Thank you for your patience. We're always glad that these are archived so that if you miss it any particular night, sometimes even I do, we can do it again. You can watch. You can go to the site, ComeMonday.org, and if you're watching from Facebook, which most of you are, if you go to ComeMonday.org, you can just read many. There was an Uber driver I had this morning in Atlanta, and she was just a brilliant young woman, an engineer, in between jobs, fixing to leave the country, and she didn't know who I was. She came early in the morning, the sun wasn't even up, and when I finally told her my age, she yelled out, "Black don't crack." But that's beside the point. She couldn't believe that I was answering questions that she had been with a couple of her friends talking just prior to that about the Bible, about heaven and hell. She didn't believe in all that. She's been in the Church of Christ, Pentecostal churches. She's been in the Church of God in Christ, Catholicism. She went through a number of different denominations and churches, never found satisfaction. But she and her friend, she's a young lady in her 30s, and they were just talking about life. And in fact, she's coming here in February. She was all interested in the 1921 massacre, the riot right here, the worst in American history. And she said, all the things that I'm interested in. When she heard I was from Tulsa, she just started talking. There are no mistakes. And she said, this is ordained that you would have these answers and that you would know Tulsa, and I can come there. And I gave her the Come Monday card. She didn't know anything about the movie, never heard my story. And subsequent to it, and I gave her an email address to, which is cdp@bishoppearson.com, and I gave her this is one of the first times, Henry, that I've actually had the cards with me. I have all these beautiful Come Monday cards that our producer made for me, and I forget to take them. I forget to mention it from the platform. So many people, how do we get in touch with you? Yesterday in Atlanta, leaving out early in the morning for Toronto, Kansas, for the World Parliament of Religions, or the Parliament of World Religions. And I'm going to be with some wonderful people this weekend, Eckhart Tolle and Michael Beckwith and Matthew Cox, just so many wonderful thinkers. And Jan Von Zant's going to be speaking in Huntington Beach, Marianne Williamson. So I'm thrilled to see the constant growth and the expansion of consciousness. Tonight is an important night because tomorrow is an important night, and a really important night when millions of America, over 36 million, have already voted early. I'm one of them. We have more people voting early this time than did the whole election for the last midterm. So evidently there's some real passionate thinkers out there, and a lot of women are getting active and supporting women's issues, and a lot of them are shifting parties, and men are tending to stay in the parties that they were or join maybe like a Republican Party. Men tend to be a little bit more traditional and holding to the old ways. Women are saying, no, we're breaking out, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to be more progressive, and that part is good, but there's tension, and we're going to get beyond all of this. There's a toxic plurality that is in the culture, and later on, my daughter's going to sing a song that, I don't know who wrote it. It wasn't Whitney Houston, but she sang it on The Preacher's Wife, and it's titled, "I Believe in You and Me." Where, regardless of your party, as Americans, we must believe in each other, believe in ourselves, believe in each other. People have the right to their opinions, and we do have opinions, and we do have the freedom to express those opinions. But if you have an opinion and you don't express it in the ballot box, the opinion sometimes drops to the earth. Tomorrow's a chance to vote. So whoever you are, when women's suffrage took place, women couldn't vote, women protested. Now women are running, there are more women running for office, and looks like they're doing very well. Very important election in Atlanta. I was there yesterday. The tension is really, really high for both on both the Republican and the Democrat Party, but there would be the first African-American female governor of Georgia if this takes place. And she's looking really, really good. Also an African-American, brilliant young man, the mayor of Tallahassee, Florida, is running for the governor of Florida. And, of course, President Obama's been there on Oprah. And, of course, Trump and Pence has gone to support the Democratic candidate. So everybody's getting involved, and I like it. I like the process. It's tense. But in the end, we have to believe in each other, and I know we will. I think you understand that. Another exciting thing happened this weekend is Stevie Wonder. The Stevie Wonder was in town. Stevie and I have been friends of course, I've known of him all my life. He learned of me because of Azusa. Some 15 years ago, we became friends. About 10 years ago in Ghana, I actually met him for the first time in Ghana because we were both over there. He was doing benefit concerts, and I was working with. Now you see on the stage there, that's Stevie Wonder on the picture. That's Friday night. He was at the casino here, the Hard Rock Casino. Second time I've ever been there. First time I went on my dad's 80th birthday to take him to the seafood bash they have on Friday nights. This Friday night, we were there, and that's Eli on my left. That's Majesty's friend, and of course Stevie's right in the center, and Rick Fortner on my right is Majesty's right is the Minister of Music at the All Souls Unitarian Church here in town, which we merged with, and we made them Unicostals, and it's beautiful, and Metacostals. We're just having a wonderful time. But that's one of the pictures that we took that night, and he invited her to come back the next night, Stevie did, to sing. We'd been talking about it, but he never answered my texts. I called, I left voice messages. He wanted to do it his own way, his own time. And I know him well enough to know that's what he does, but I let him know what the Lord wanted to all see. And because the Lord uses me that way from time to time. He never said a word to me. He just invited her. You know what? Well, all he said to me is he wanted a peach cobbler. And so I gave him a peach and a cobbler. The peach was my daughter, and I brought the big old Madge brought it because I had to go to Atlanta. She brought this great big cobbler that I rushed around to fix, and a big pot of greens and cornbread and smoked turkey. He was a vegetarian for a while, a vegan actually. And then his doctor told him he knew he needed more protein, and he said, I couldn't wait to get that chicken. So anyway, he's a dear, dear friend, a very generous and genuine. He's the person who introduced me to Michael Beckwith by phone. And then I met Michael Beckwith. I'll be with him tomorrow in Toronto, Canada, and later on this weekend in Southern California. So some wonderful things are happening. I'll tell you more about that throughout the program because I'm going to actually interview Majesty, who got to sit on the keyboard, on the bench with Stevie Wonder, and he sang. She didn't even realize this until I told her. He sang one of his famous songs, which he didn't sing Friday night, and the people sitting in the area that I was sitting in were complaining because that's one of their favorite songs, and he did all his hits. Now, they sat me on the floor, and I like to sit in the mezzanine. I was down on the floor, and I don't like sitting on the floor because those kids never stand up. I mean, they never sit down, so somebody's fanny's in your face the whole time. And that wasn't blessing me, but when I got down there, everybody was around my age, so there wasn't that many people standing up. Majesty and Eli were standing up over here, and a few other kids. We are Stevie's audience, and he's my age, 65. So we all was sitting down. We stood some. We got down and danced and had a blast of a time. But he calls her up. She's sitting by him on the piano, and before she sings, and he didn't even know what she was going to sing. He left that totally up to her. He started playing Ma Chérie Amour, and Majesty's middle name is Amour. So Ma Chérie Amour was like Majesty Amour, and I know what he was doing. He was really affirming her and blessing her, and that's always been one of my favorite songs. I got tears in my eyes when I realized, because somebody texted me and said, Madge is on stage with Stevie. And and I said, well, what, is she singing? They said, no, she's just on stage, and he's singing My Chérie Amour. She was sitting, who gets to sit on a piano bench with Stevie Wonder? Now, it'd be different if he invited her to New York or L.A. or even Chicago. He came to our hometown where she went to school at Riverfield, as a preschool at Riverfield, and TU as a little child. And later on, she graduated from Jinx High. Junior high, and she comes back home, and Stevie waits till he gets to her town and lets her sing. And I just, he doesn't have the same meaning to people her age than she does we old fogies. I knew him when he was called Little Stevie Wonder. And I actually appeared on a talent show when I was in the 8th grade, and I sang his song, like a long, lonely stream, I keep running toward a dream, moving on, moving on. There's a place in the sun where there's hope for everyone, where my poor bitch. I sang that song with a dream. He was dreaming at that time, too. That was in 1960, probably 7 or something like that. Here it is, 2020. 2018, and my 22-year-old daughter, who just turned 22, is sitting on the piano with all we've been through in this town. She was shamed and embarrassed, and she was little when some of that took place, but she lost friends, and then she gets to come home. All this was going through my mind. I'm thinking out loud how thankful I was. I mean, we were both.
Standing ovation
she got us. Yeah, when she finished singing the song, they gave her a standing ovation. I mean, we haven't gotten. I don't remember the last time I got a standing ovation in this town in about 20 years, but my baby did. So that to me, that was like. There's still.
Stevie stood up too.
Stevie stood up.
Yeah.
Stevie actually stood up. I really wish I could have been there. I don't know why I didn't have it. I write it down, but I'm really glad I wasn't, because it was her night and his night, and they bonded. He actually asked her to record with her, that the three of us would do something together, but he's been asking that for a while. I just never thought, I'm not going to do anything with Stevie Wonder, but if she does, I will. So anyway, some people actually ask me, am I Majesty Pearson's father? And some of them say, did you used to be Carlson Pearson? I'm just loving it. I'm just loving it. So that's part of my story. We'll talk to her. I want to ask her what she felt sitting on the stage with the maestro and singing with him. And we got to go backstage. Of course, she went back both nights, and the people who were with us. And it was just a wonderful time, a wonderful experience, a high moment for her. My experience like that was with Oral Roberts at 21. She's not into preaching, she's into music, and not just religious music, but secular music as well as sacred music. But then I got to sing on the stage with Aretha Franklin. I'm going to New York next Monday, because after 46 years, the movie that I sat in my Granada 351 Ford in 1974 with all the windows rolled up with my 8-track and blubbered while she sang the whole song. My roommate was Gary McIntosh at that time. We lived on, we called it the something Tide at ORU, and the whole wing had to hear that. Gary had built, Bishop Gary McIntosh, he had built his own 8-track player, the speaker. He can do that. So we turned that music up, and everybody on our wing, and he was the chaplain, they had to listen to Aretha sing the whole album. I later recorded Precious Memories and went to Radio City Music Hall, performed with her at her invitation, Constitution Hall, Nicoa in L.A., went to Detroit, twice to her dad's church. I mean, she was amazing to me. I loved her. She loved inclusion. We talked about all that kind of thing. And now, and Madge was there with me. I took Madge to Majesty's Madison Square Garden. She was with me in Nicoa. Every chance we get to expose her to the kinds of things she wants to do, we do it. And she gets it. And Henry, well, you were at the Nicoa one. Henry was also when Madge sang on the floor, he was jumping. When they said her father's up there, he had his big hips up wide and tall. They couldn't even tell who her daddy was. He was doing like this. He was happier than I was.
White and right.
White and right and wrong. We're one big family. We love each other so much. All right, let's do the song. She's going to do, I want her to do a couple of songs tonight, but she's prepared to do in this toxic culture with the bipartisan partisanship, and of course you have independents and you have all kinds of others. We're still Americans. We are the United States, not uniformity, but unity. We don't look the same, we don't act the same, we don't think the same, we don't vote the same. But we are one country. We've got to remember this. Yes. Whatever happens at the end of the selection, tomorrow night about 7 o'clock, I'll be in Toronto. Otherwise, I was going to be here with Jason and with Mark in his home. Mark will be just doing a watch party because we have really been involved. But either way, we're America. And Wednesday morning, we wake up Americans. And we're going to keep going. I believe in you, and you believe in me. from the preacher's wife, Majesty Amor. Stevie's niece is going to sing Ma Cherie Amor. I mean, I believe in you. Yeah.
Here it comes.
Is that it?
No, it's coming.
It's coming now. Now just keep your eyes on the
To be able to sing this song, one of my icons, female icons, Whitney Houston, sang this song, and to be sitting next to a living icon, it was just, whew. I believe in you and me. I believe that we will be in love eternally. But as far as I can see, you will always be the one for me. Oh, yes, you will. And I believe in dreams again. I believe that love will never end. And like the river finds the sea, I was lost, but now I'm free. 'Cause I believe in you and me. I will never leave your side. I will never hurt your pride. When all the chips are down, baby, say I will always, always be around, just to be right where you are. Oh, my love, you know, I love you. I will never leave you out. I will always let you in, boy, to places no one's ever been. Deep inside, can't you see that I believe in you and me? Oh, or maybe I'm a fool to feel the way I do. Well, I won't play the fool forever, just to be with you forever. I believe in miracles, and our love's a miracle. And yes, baby, you're my dream come true. I was lost, but now I'm free. Oh, baby, 'cause I do believe in you and me. See, I was lost, but now I'm free. 'Cause I believe in you and me. I believe in you and me.
Oh, come on over.
We going to vote tomorrow.
Get over here. Good, sweetheart.
Thanks, Pop.
I was enjoying the song until I realized you were wearing my turtleneck that I just bought last week.
It's nice and cool.
I can't keep nothing.
Time of year, I appreciate you for always letting me know.
Oh, you don't have a mic on her. Oh, we're going to get a mic on her, or just let her hold the mic. She's really a daddy's girl. She uses my combs, my restroom. She'll come up and use my shower. She uses my cologne almost, and but she's mine. But I don't wear her stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, honey. So let's.
Sometimes I feel like you have my skinny jeans. I had his skinny jeans. It's crazy that we fit the same pair of skinny jeans.
Well, some of these jeans, skinny jeans is for skinny people, so I shouldn't be in some of them.
What?
So some of them jeans, I wonder that they're cutting my breath off. So maybe.
Okay, well, we don't want to cut the breast support off. So maybe.
No, this is the first time you've told me that. I'm gonna start checking.
We'll have to check out Burlington again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boynton. Well, the last year has been. Let's just talk about the last year. A year ago, September. This is what, November. A year ago, September, you left home for the first time, semi-permanently, to move to New York City. How many Oklahoma fathers will feel comfortable about their daughter going to Oklahoma City? I mean, to New York City. Oklahoma,
well,
please.
We were in Chicago for so
6
many
years.
And so it was such an impressionable 7 years, was it?
6 years.
Yeah, and it really prepared me for New York.
But you took to the streets like a fish to water. You guys were on those buses and trains, and
such a beautiful city.
we lived
So
we lived
welcoming.
15 minutes from Navy Pier, and they used to walk to Navy Pier. And
Man, and now Maggie Daley Park is right there, right in the center by Millennium Park and by the Bean, and it's such an amazing vibe going back there. Like the energy downtown is totally shifted.
it's a charm. We pastored out south at the Christ Universal Temple. The late great Johnny Coleman founded that church almost 60 years ago, and I had the privilege for serving there about a year and a half. We added like 1,200 new members. Madge was doing children's church just about every Sunday. She loves children. She loves animals.
Talked to her today.
You did.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep your mic
Yeah,
closer.
sure thing.
So, what was it like sitting on the stage, sitting beside, before you sang, just sitting next to Stevie Wonder?
It felt like there was such an energy. His energy and his spirit is so strong and so sweet. And I felt, although of course I was extremely nervous and there were so many thoughts and going around, but the fact that he was so warm and welcoming and his spirit, I could feel him right there. And I felt like I was of course in awe, just to be like, just to hold his hand. And it was just amazing.
Now you guys, you hadn't met before Friday night, right?
We met in Oklahoma City the last time they came.
Oh, that's right.
The last time they came. But hadn't talked super duper a lot.
We had backstage passes when he was in Oklahoma City about a year or two ago. I'd forgotten about that. But this time...
So it was amazing that he just migrated our spirits, and he appreciated mine and was just so loving. It was almost like he just hadn't seen me in a few weeks, and he was like, "Hi, baby, how you doing?" And it was just, oh, gosh. He's just so warm. He was so warm. It felt like it was Uncle Stevie just coming to check in.
And his niece, Nikki, was so sweet.
Yes.
You took her to the Greenwood...
Yes, we went on a tour. That day, Saturday morning, we toured Black Wall Street, and with Jamal Dyer and Nehemiah Frank, they came by to Miss Wanda's shop. We had breakfast at Wanda's on Greenwood.
Jamal actually opened the Greenwood Cultural Center.
Sure
got
did.
To open the Cultural Center.
Got
because
right
it
up
wouldn't
and
have
did
been
that.
open then.
Yes, he
Sweet
did.
guy, great preacher too.
And what was crazy is that night, my seats were in the same row as them.
They just happened to be?
Crazy, same row as them. And then also, there was Saturday night was so immersive. He had people on the stage, couples on the stage, dancing while he was singing.
Oh.
And the night before they had the wedding photo. So
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
such a lovely, literally vibe in there. And so he called Jamal. Well, they were like, "Who can sing this song?" And Jamal got chosen to go up there. It was just so crazy how God worked. Like he was willing to just.
Jamal sang?
He went on stage with him.
My God, I didn't know
And
that.
another gentleman, it was just, I was so excited. I was screaming, trying to save my voice, but screaming at the stage. I was like, "Yo, it's Jamal, he's up there." It's crazy.
Stevie's such a rich person. When people learned that I knew him several years ago, they said that they would give him $900,000 cash if he would come and sing. And so I didn't know what to do but to call him and tell him, and I did. And he said, let's just be friends right now. I don't want to do any business. I said, dude, at 900,000.
Did you get the zeros?
It was
He's so sweet. I believe it.
It wasn't about money with him. This guy is full of love for people.
Yes.
He's very sensitive. He wanted to know what you were thinking, where you were. In fact, backstage on Friday night, his security guard grew up in the Church of God in Christ. His top guy that night.
Mike, yeah.
And Mike's 2 or 3 years younger than me. So Bishop S.M. Crouch, Mother Ola Mae Garner, Mother Cora Berry, Mother Hale, Charles Blake, Bishop Charles Blake. They're at the convocation in Memphis and St. Louis right now. We got so and another young man who played for Andre Crouch when I went to do a prison thing with Andre 30 years ago. Came in. He was a young kid. Came and introduced himself to me. Madge and Stevie and the male singer were over there talking.
Yes, Keith. Yeah, background singer.
They just started extemporaneously singing, and out of the clip. What were you guys singing?
Fever.
Beautiful.
And then Keith was singing School Days, a
You
song
gave me
that Stevie wrote for a
fever.
Spike Lee movie. It was just so impromptu.
Yeah.
The whole weekend.
But all
really.
three of you started singing.
Crazy fun.
We're
It
carrying a
just-
conversation over here. They started singing. It was just like a family.
Yeah, and he was holding my hand, and just like the love was just channeling and circling back there. But I meant to say, right before I went out there, he had introduced, people were backstage, they're like, "You're Colin Pearson's daughter, oh my God, that's so crazy, how is this happening?" I was like, "I don't know, it was just so quick." But then he introduced and said, "This is Colin Pearson's daughter," and everybody screamed, like everybody in the whole area, it was like this roar, right? It was just so crazy.
Yep.
You mean
It was
in the
so
house
crazy.
or in backstage?
I heard it from backstage, but it was in
No,
the
out
house.
in the audience.
The audience?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It was so sweet.
Oh.
It was so sweet.
Well, Tulsa's been good to us. I've been here 49 years, and I wanted really to put my wife on a plane and fly back to San Diego because all the Pearson children, my dad's siblings were born in San Diego, and I wasn't sure I wanted my kids not to be born in San Diego. My dad was there. Dr. John was there the night they were born, and the day you were born, Dr. John, with whom I was in Atlanta last weekend, he just drove into the parking lot. Your mother was leaning on me. I put my hands on the bottom of her back. We'd just come from the gynecologist. She started having contractions.
Yeah. And he happenstance drove in.
He just happened to drive in. And we went straight into the hospital. She was born like 2 hours later.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Doctor's hospital.
Ordained. So, and then
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. When you sang that song, was it the song you just sang? No.
I believe in you and me.
Yeah.
Yes.
What were you thinking?
Well, I was looking out and I was seeing all of the blue lights, just thousands of blue lights, and they were all swaying. Yeah, they gave us glow-in-the-dark color lights. Shout out to Kirkland for his crazy
Bracelets
idea.
for.
Yeah, to
get
have
in and
everybody everyone felt so connected. It was just another piece that was added to the night. It was so like communicative and dope. It was crazy to look at. So I was looking at that and just feeling the moment and trying to just make sure I wasn't going to forget these words. And what was crazy is the band was like, okay, they just kind of flowed. Like, well, they flowed. Those musicians just have to. They all feel each other
They're
on stage, and it's
spontaneous.
so amazing that they were able to do that. I was so grateful that he just got on the keys, and then that Stevie started playing. It also, I mean,
how many people get to have Stevie Wonder play for them? We're not idolizing him, and yet he is an idol to us. His songs, his music. In fact, when I first spoke to him on the phone, I said, "You know what? There's something about your lyrics that are metaphysical."
man,
Now, he's
ministry, a whole ministry.
Yeah, the songs in the Key of Life is a masterpiece.
Ooh.
That one, and the one that Aretha is doing, that we're going to do in New York. Madge's going with me again to New York next Monday, for the opening of this movie with her singing.
Amazing.
Clara Ward's in it. C.L. Franklin himself is there. Rod Stewart is sitting in the audience, and the kids I grew up with are in that choir. This is
No way.
Yeah, and Stevie grew up in the Church of God in Christ. I didn't know that. And he said, that's why I know all these songs. He says, my mother used to take me and grandmother took me to all these little storefronts in Detroit. And they all tried to pray for his eyes and get him healed. And Sometimes they would stick their fingers in there, and it would be painful to him, and he'd swell because they wanted him healed so
I
badly.
didn't know he was healed and going to heal everyone already was at that moment. What was that? When was that?
Well, he's thankful now. That was when he was a little kid, like
Oh,
5 and 6
man.
years old. And
Wow. In Detroit and things?
to count my fingers, son, and he couldn't do it. You know, sometimes he'd make up stuff, and he told me this. You know, he had faith, but not. He wasn't even. His blind eyes didn't bother him.
It's like
They bothered
he
it.
doesn't. He's not, of course, not missing anything, but he's more connected. He has
Sensitive.
no choice, but yeah, more sensitive, which was just so beautiful. I've never experienced anything, any moment like that.
It's like he's looking
Any
at you.
conversation, yes, looking to you, yes.
Yeah, or almost through you.
Through, yes.
He's very discerning. He's a great spirit. I remember when Michael Jackson, who was it? One of the big night guys that's retired now, not Letterman.
Oh, Leno?
Jay Leno wanted him on the show, and I said, he said, you know why I won't go on? I said, why? He said, because Michael Jackson's being sued in court, which he was exonerated, but he said, why make fun of the guy when he's going through this live? He said, they've called me repeatedly. He said, I won't do a show because he hasn't been indicted. They haven't proven anything, but it's the man's life, and they're making jokes about him, about his face, and they didn't know the kind of disease he had that made his skin turn white. And I had such respect for his integrity because he refused just to get on television. He said it doesn't mean anything to me to get on somebody's program who's disrespecting another human being at that level.
Sure thing.
And
yeah.
and when my godmother was 80 years old, I remember her birthday, he called in San Diego and sang. Weren't you there? You were all there.
Man, I think I was.
Yeah, you and Julie were there. You were little, but that was 11, 12, 13 years ago. He sang "Happy Birthday to You," and then godmother thought it was Michael Jackson until she died. She couldn't remember.
His voice, the clarity of his voice, to see him in person, just to witness like what the music that we did grow up listening to, and that you would sing to us, and that we would play on repeat, going to church, leaving church, wherever, on the way to piano lessons, just all the time, and like him being there, and just the clarity and all that he's gone through and been through, and it was, man, so magical.
Yeah.
So magical, like wondrous.
Do we have any footage? Did I get any of that footage I sent you of her sitting there singing with him that night? Play a little bit of that. I couldn't give you the whole thing because it wouldn't. Somebody sent it. Yolantri sent it to me. She sent the whole song, but because of my phone, I couldn't even send the whole piece to. Or we'd let you see it. Which camera are we here? We'd let you see the whole song of her sitting on the stage. And singing with Stevie.
You ready?
Yeah, if you have it.
Like that, he believed in me, trusted me.
He had no question about it.
I just.
That's yours. It's better. No, that's better.
Like my auntie used to think, good. What do you want to say? Hello.
I believe in you and me.
I believe in me. Okay, y'all got that? What key you doing? Y'all know that? I believe in you. Let me do that. Let me play that. Y'all remember? Who's gonna play the piano? Oh, you want to do a B?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's in the
That's the first I've seen that.
No, that's it.
Jeez. It was like he was giving a standing ovation to me. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, but you weren't there.
But I wasn't there. Man.
Dude,
That's your first time seeing it.
That's
That's amazing. That's the footage we had. That's just
Unbelievable.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
precious. It just we were talking about it on the phone. I was in Atlanta, and we both started crying. I saw something prophetic. I saw something prophetic. Felt something prophetic. Thinking all these years of, and we took a risk to come back home to the city of our prime and crime, so to speak, in some people's thinking. But it took Stevie Wonder to come to Tulsa. My mentor here was Oral Roberts, you know, and he went to heaven before I could, the way we explained it, before we could really publicly do much together, though we talked constantly. And he dedicated her. Oral Roberts dedicated Majesty. Richard did Julia, and I. But for some reason, Oral wanted to do Majesty, and he doesn't do very many. You could count the times on one hand that he's done dedications.
Such a blessing.
But he came to the church. We got all the footage. It's all up at Harvard.
Such a
We have
blessing.
teach a picture. And I was telling her, I said, Oral was my guy, but for some reason, and he was an icon to that world that I lived in at that time, and still, you know, indirectly do today. But this guy is known all over the planet for singing and writing and entertaining, and he's metaphysical. I told the first time I spoke with him on the phone, I said, "There's something metaphysical about your thinking. I mean, you meta means to expand or go beyond or to cross over from the physical. He's a very sensitive spirit. He sensed in you something that he must have sensed in his own soul, because for him to sing Ma Cherie Amour with Majesty Amour sitting on the keyboards, and if you don't figure it out, because he's never going to say that, you'll figure it out. I figured it out.
Pointed it out. I mean, when the song went la la la, I was like, oh my God.
But he had you out there before to sit and sing that song before yours. That was powerful. He could have had you stay off.
Powerful. It was so impromptu, like the flow was just.
And you know, Madge has stood in line for the Voice. What is this American?
We stood in line. America's Got Talent, The Voice, sure.
Idol.
The shows, American Idol and Branson. Which are all cool experiences.
And they were wonderful. I wouldn't have done that. I went with her in Chicago. It was cold, so sometimes it was raining. Gina went with her. They stood in line with her all day. The people were singing. They were jovial. We went to the 4, and they were all back there singing and pulling for each other.
Yes.
We didn't know which ones would be pulled out on the stage. Only 3 of you got to go out. The rest of them had to actually go home. We cried because one young man had his wife and children, and you never know these kinds of things. I had to leave. They said, "Please, will you stay? We want you to be here when your daughter is on." Well, I didn't even know what that meant. I thought everybody was going to get on, and they just wanted me to be there so I could be because I was on the show. So she goes out and wins. I mean, you unseated somebody, and to me, that stuff is not just talent. That's targeted destiny. And I told her, I said, it's not about winning any particular show or
Right.
unseating somebody.
Right.
It's remaining in your seat, in your place, in
Yes.
life, wherever.
Seat and place in life.
Yes. All the singing and she sings constantly. I don't care if the television's on, the music's on. If I'm praying, she gonna be singing loud and strong. And her mother sings a lot too and cannot sing. Her mother was saying loud, long, strong, and wrong, and
Yeah.
just enjoys it. She just laughs.
Tellingly, we joke about that, and I'm like, well, you have other gifts.
Yeah.
And I have so much that I've gotten from you, so it's just fine. I'll keep the music to pause.
But what I like about it is that she sings, even though she ain't trying to perform. That's just Gina singing her song. I like that about her. It's her.
She instilled so much music in me. Celine Dion and Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker, she'd always play. So she has a good ear. She knew.
And people wonder where Gina supports Majesty 100%. I mean, everything. She was up in New York, ironing closet, all her proms. She's working and cleaning, and she works with her baby. She doesn't try to sing for her. Thank you, Jeez. But I don't try to iron her clothes or anything like that. But Gina's there. I mean, she was sitting in the audience, 100% for, and we're all going to be. She's going to be in Carnegie Hall when.
November 18th. Here.
Do you have that? I meant to send that to Jason so he could show the brochure.
No, but we can post it on your page. You're looking out for November 18th. It's a celebration of women. And what's crazy, celebration of the right for women to vote.
Oh, really?
In Poland, though. So
in Poland?
So, yes, that's what
The event is the right for women. Thank you, Jason. Shout out to Jason, who's holding it down this evening and always on ComeMonday.
Jason
Whitney.
is doing the job of 10 men here.
Yes. We have a lot of support here tonight. Carnegie Hall, yes. The celebration of women's right to vote in Poland. So Poland pianist and violinist and a soloist is coming in to perform. And then a student of mine, Katarzyna, wow. I used to do that at school too. Katarzyna, she's Polish. She went to New York Film Academy, and she just was like Majesty.
She means a co-student of hers.
Yes, yeah. She graduated a year before me. And she was like, I want you to be a part of this. And
What are you singing?
I'm Here from The Color Purple, which it's just my favorite song, my favorite musical theater song, because of the lyrics and the message of the story. And then Summertime from Porgy and Bess.
You didn't tell me that. You sang some classical song you sent me.
Yes. Oh, I don't think we're doing that one anymore.
So you're doing these two songs?
Yes. I'm so grateful.
A little bit of the color purple for us.
Yes. I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to love. I've got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine. I know she still loves me. I'm gonna take a deep breath, gonna hold my head up, gonna put my shoulders back and look it straight in the eye. Beautiful lyrics.
Wow.
Beautiful lyrics. I'm Here from The Color Purple.
That's
Cynthia Erivo
beautiful.
just recently played the role of Celie and received a Tony for it, and she's going to be in a new movie with Viola Davis. Such a women empowerment movie, and I'm so excited for that. So it's an honor. It's just, the doors have been opening, the blessings, and I'm just overwhelmed and over grateful, beyond grateful.
I always say your gift will make room for you.
You do always say that. Always make room for your gift. Yes, sir.
So we're flying in just for that to be in. I've never been in Carnegie Hall. Never even been in the building.
Me neither.
I always wanted to. I'm just
My word.
and that song, Sweetheart, that was just wonderful.
Oh man.
Oh, I can't wait. And then you're gonna have a full orchestra.
The violinist and piano. I think it might be a quartet, but it's going to be a full sound, and I cannot wait.
Like an ensemble.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yes.
In Carnegie Hall. You know where the word Carnegie comes from?
No.
All right, let's go to
Let's throw to a promo.
let's go. We started that thing years ago. Y'all don't know about.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go to a little promo. Come Monday.
Crazy man.
And we'll be back with a little bit more than that. Hello, everybody. I'm Carlton Pearson, and I am so excited about the beginning of ComeMonday.org. Come Sunday was the movie. Come Monday is the movement into broader enlightenment in life. And as a member of Come Monday, you'll receive one video each Monday for the entire year. That's 52 videos in total that you'll receive every Monday morning to get your week started out on a positive and powerful note. I will also be sending you one each day, Monday through Friday, that will support the thought of the week. That's 260 emails throughout the entire year to inspire the genius inside of you. We will also provide a private Facebook group so that we can all come together in a safe environment and discuss personal, pertinent, powerful issues. You will also receive a digital monthly newsletter full of interesting updates and current events and exciting pictures. And I also want to offer you special VIP access to all of my events when I'm in a city near you, because I love to meet my peoples. And finally, we'll offer special pricing to cruises, concerts, live events, all for standing with us and becoming a Come Monday member. So sign up now at the special introductory rate of just $3 a month. That's just $36 for everything for an entire year. I think I'm going to sign up for that myself. You're on your way to greater enlightenment. I want to meet you there in consciousness. So go to your phones and computers now. Sign up and meet me come Monday. Are we back on?
Yep.
Hey, we're back.
Hello.
So what do you want to say, Madge? We're just about finished. It's been a great, went faster than I thought it was.
Man, I would love to say, first of all, thank you for who you are in my life, who you've always been, who the person that you're creating, and your impact on my life and in my life, and how you're always such a security blanket, and you always have. So you've prepared me for all these moments, you and Mom, and I'm finding all these tools that were instilled. So I appreciate you. And anyone watching who is trying to contemplate and figure out where they are in life, which is probably all of us, just know that, and believe that things will work out. Your timing, you have a destiny. Everything is purposeful, and your dreams can literally come true by you making the step and having good character, making the steps necessary, and yes, believing in yourself.
And having people to believe in you.
Yes.
Thank you, Uncle Henry. Thank you, Uncle Jason.
Yes.
We think you guys are going to turn out to be something.
I love you guys.
Thanks
for watching Come Monday.
This is a volunteer uncle here. He never misses.
Man. Hey, that's Ben!
That's Benjamin. He's
That
so
was
cool.
his last time here.
Yeah, that was the last time.
Oh,
Fired.
He comes out and he volunteers this time when he can.
Yes.
He's visiting his wife, Char, staying here
takes a
some
village.
months ago. She needs to get back. She's an amazing,
no. Yes, Charlotte, my
gracious
gosh.
lady.
Beautiful musician.
We're thankful for people. We're thankful for you. Those
Yes.
of you who are members of Come Monday, and there are hundreds of you. There should be thousands of you, and there will be. We ask a small amount because it takes money to operate this. What's $5 a month? It was originally $3 for those who were early, but we're not asking for large amounts. But that does help more than you know when enough of you do it. If thousands of you did it, that would be a big help. Just once a month, just kind of auto drafted out of your account, your bank card. You go to ComeMonday.org. You Facebook friends, we love you, we adore you. There are thousands of you. I can't answer every in a timely manner, but I do sit in front of the Facebook when I can, and the messages, they come all day, and there are hundreds of them, so it's not like I have a big staff that's doing it all.
I also wanted to thank Tulsa for sharing the moment that we did last night.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're all rejuvenated after this weekend of just being around such a positive energy and vibe. So
thanks, Shalantris, for sending me that picture,
Yes.
that video. And Jen, you've been so sweet. Thanks. Nikki
Yes.
wasn't even able to get there that night, Nikki. But
Oh.
these are all your aunts and best friends and family. We love you all. All right.
go vote tomorrow!
get to them polls, team.
If for some reason I'm not here next Monday, it'll be because I'm in New York. But I will have Madge and I both will be there. I forget the name of the theater on. I had that too for you to see it. But 46 years ago, and on live, the famous Reverend James Cleveland in Los Angeles, Aretha recorded this amazing video. It'll bring tears to your eyes. And she was young and vibrant and powerful, and her dad was there, and I remember the church. I know some of the people in the choir. I've been working with Alan Elliott, who owns the film rights to it. A wonderful, wonderful friend of mine. We were all sitting together at Aretha's funeral. Madge and I, Robert Johnson, and Alan Elliott. Sam Jackson was with us. We all sat through that 10,000-hour service.
Yeah, life-changing.
But it was beautiful. And now we're all getting together. Just call for the Reverend Jesse Jackson to come tonight. I think he's going to be there. We want him there. He's a dear, dear friend. Was a dear friend of mine, but was a dear friend of Aretha. And they asked me, could I get him there tonight? And I think he's going to be there. So, and other celebrities and dignitaries, but it's a special time for gospel music. That is the #1 gospel music, the most popular in the history of gospel music, because it was Aretha singing Amazing Grace, which she believed in so much. So watch for the movie coming to your town. It's like a church service, or to your area. We may even put it on the road and fill places like Hollywood Bowl. And
yes.
What's that place in Chicago that we go to?
Millennium Park?
What is it?
Millennium Park?
Yeah, no,
there's a screen there too, though, I think.
You know, a little bit out of town. Everybody goes there.
Oh, Ravinia.
Ravinia.
Okay.
We've actually talked about that.
Okay.
Madison Square in Los Angeles, in New York, and bring part of the revival back to this country because it's powerful. I remember her favorite song, Aretha's favorite song, was one of the favorite songs that we sing together is. Farther along, we'll know all about it. When we were coming up with songs to sing, texting back and forth what we're going to do that night. She wanted to do that song, but I text back to her, farther along, we'll know all about it. And she texted me back. She said, all these years, I thought it was farther alone, we'll know all about it.
Sure sounds like it, too.
I said, well, it does sound like that. And farther alone, not will, does know. We will know all about it. She said, I never even thought that. I never even thought of that. But both are true. Isn't that interesting? I wish I probably still have the text where she texts back and says, all these years I thought it was something different. In those days,
I still wanted you to sing it.
Yeah, we sang it together, but it both is true. So a lot of history here. And I think my baby girl has a combination of all, from my godmother, from Mother Sherman, to all her brother Julian. It comes home tomorrow. He's on the road with John P. Key. He's his videographer.
And
they're shooting a movie about Thomas Dorsey.
Okay, cool.
And so they've been on a 3-week tour. He gets home. He's been on paid leave at his job at MCI Diagnostics, our dear friend, the neighbors. So good things are happening. It gets better, folks. I don't care what you've been through, what you're going through, or what you will go through. It always ultimately gets better as long as you keep a positive attitude.
Learn from each experience.
She's had many tears, many lonely moments. I've watched her watch her friends win. She gets just as happy when her friends win.
Of course.
And sometimes more. She's jumping up and down and crying. I remember the first time Esther Polk heard you sing the Beyonce song.
Listen from Dream Girls.
At the big cathedral of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, man. She was young, so young. Yeah.
They were like 9 and 10 years old. And Majesty sang that song on that big stage. Esther started crying. That's how she...
When people appreciate anyone's gift, it's always just...
And now Esther's won scholarships. She plays basketball.
She's amazing. Yes.
Gorgeous. And her brother just got another scholarship.
They're such a beautiful family.
The D.E. and Brandy Polk family, they're ours. We love people. We love you.
Yes, yes.
God bless you. God be you. We'll see you again next time. Next time it'll be something from New York, okay? And Jason will make sure you get to see it. Peace and blessings.
Blessings.